Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to today's video. Today, we'll be talking about why dating is such an extremely difficult skill to master, and that makes dating in life just so terrible and arduous. It is the hardest thing possible. As well as I'm sharing 3 techniques that you can be applying in your interactions so you can mitigate the amount of damage possible, as well as getting the most benefit from each interaction. I also uploaded additional resources to my website. It's in the description below, bedroom-talks.com. You can read about this. If you want to book a consultation, it's outlined. And I also answer the most frequently asked questions that I get. So hope you guys find some value. So dating, why is it so difficult? I feel like no one properly teaches you how to date, how to flirt. I truly believe that most people do not know how to flirt. It's a skill that you have to learn in the streets, right? It's a skill you learn outside of school through human interaction that's not properly taught. I feel like the models we get from our parents is the only one you get, as well as movies. I feel like the way you see movies is how you think the real world actually works. But you have to understand that a movie is not actually how the world works. And the tips and advice of dating and flirting and the whole idea of romance probably isn't as real as you possibly think. I think the number one thing that movies teach us is that we can woo a girl into liking us. I hate to say this, guys, but attraction is a legitimate thing. You know, in movies, they describe the idea that you need to keep working and proving yourself to the girl. And one day she'll wake up and be like, wow, this is an amazing guy. I should date him and love him and be loyal. Truth be told, in real life, women actually have more opportunities to date than most men. I feel like it's skewed. I feel like if you are the top percentage of masculinity, you will have more options possible. But the fact is, guys have to earn their value in life. I hate to say it, guys. If you are not attractive, you don't have status, you don't have an income, you don't have a mission and purpose, it's really hard to get the attention possible unless you are purely relying on your looks. I truly believe that if you're just good looking, you will be able to go further than someone who is not. Obviously, there are things you can do to improve your looks. From my personal experience, I remember learning how to date at a very early age was one of the hardest things I had to do. I described it in a previous video. I feel like I was an ultimate people pleaser when I was younger, and I didn't really have a good representation or role models through my parents. My mom was divorced, my dad wasn't really around, so I didn't really have that whole identity or what a man should be. So I got it from the movies. You know, when you're younger, watching these rom-coms, and a guy likes a girl, and the girl is running away, and he pedestalizes this girl, and she's her ultimate value. She's your ultimate approval that you're seeking. I remember this girl that I was seeing even in high school. It's kind of sad. I remember I met her New Year's Eve, and it was the first girl that ever gave me attention. It was the first girl that ever truly liked me, and it was a feeling that I was not used to. Naturally speaking, I do everything possible to make sure I can keep that girl. And of course, once I became afraid of messing it up, my neediness, my insecurities, my need for approval all came out, and eventually she kind of ran away. And I spent the next 6 years trying to get her to like me. And I thought that, oh, if I get jacked, if I get more money, if I get this, maybe one day she will love me truly. So honestly, I was kind of a simp. It was one of the hardest things possible because at the end of the day, I realized this girl truly does not like you or will ever love you. And I feel like I needed to get that in my head. But the fact is, I was like, I invested so much time into this person. My identity, the person I became, was for her. And it's one of the saddest things, but you learn this through life as a man. And I hope that you can avoid this journey, but sometimes you need a brutal heartbreak to wake you up so you can start this discovery of masculinity and learning how to date. I feel like the number one things that I would say that truly helped me overcome the heartbreak and learn how to date is learning the ability to walk away. I feel like if you have the ability to walk away and say no and know your worth, that actually saves you a lot of time because you won't deal with a lot of bullshit and pettiness that most guys will stand for because they have a lack of interaction or intimacy with women. I feel like if you have the ability to walk away and be like, hey, this individual is not compatible, I really don't like the conversation or the traits that she's exhibiting, because I truly feel like a lot of men, we compromise our values and what we want because we want a woman to like us. But if you actually have self-esteem and self-worth, you'll be like, I really don't like what you portray. Like, you are cute, you're attractive, but outside of that, there's nothing there. And I feel like that's a really good distinguishment of having physical attraction and lust versus loving someone. Love is not overnight. Love is something that develops through time. I feel like learning your self-worth will truly serve you well, because if you go into dating interactions and you've never had it from a scarcity mindset, you're going to be the ultimate people pleaser. You'll go through the best friend route. You'll do anything to keep her around. You even willing to subjugate yourself to being a teddy bear, the idea of being there for her while she goes and dates other guys, because you'd rather have that than nothing. I think you have to grow up and realize if she doesn't see you as a lover, she probably never will. And maybe it happens in some circumstances, but I wouldn't wait around and actually find a girl that truly likes you, enjoys you, and finds you attractive. Number 2, I'll say don't pedestalize the woman. I know it's really hard not to because she's pretty. I don't know how we started grading our self-worth and our successes. It's like, oh, we're successful, girls like us. I don't know why. Maybe it's a mommy problem. But I feel like when I was younger, this was a really difficult feat to actually accomplish. Was how would you not pedestalize someone? How do you not think they're better than you? They're more attractive. You automatically think they're better than you. Maybe on a materialistic scale, they were better than me. They had more money. They had more friends. But that kind of showed me in my own insecurities was I should probably max out my skill set possible. And by learning these things, naturally flirting and developing that skill and that wit kind of naturally falls into place. I feel like once I actually became an individual, became a person, not just a copycat, not a carbon copy, I feel like I started getting a lot more attention from women and knowing how to handle that. I feel like when you're not used to getting any attention at all, you kind of freak out, you freeze, and you kind of get weirded out. Honestly, I felt like a late bloomer at some times. I really didn't get a lot of attention until later in my life. I just kind of had to learn how to date, and I did everything wrong that was possible. I feel like the whole idea of sublimating yourself to another individual and giving them your entire attention, trust me, I was the ultimate simp back in the day. I would send a text being left unread, and I would like drop off flowers to a girl who never appreciated me. And these are nice gestures you can do if that person loves you and really finds you attractive. But yeah, I was just doing everything possible, planning dates, obsessing, and just having this daydream. I was imagining this life between me and this individual, but there's no evidence of that in the real life. I understand we want to feel like we're empowered, but it's like life isn't necessarily a movie, and love is a lot more realistic, and maybe it's not as beautiful as we once imagined, right? Love is beautiful, but it just takes different forms and shapes. But I feel like the fact that you don't know how to date is probably not necessarily your fault. There's not a school of life that teaches you the skill. It's something that you have to take as extracurricular activity from a young age, that you learn how to deal with social dynamics. I think observing and witnessing human interactions is probably the best thing that you could possibly do, is understanding, oh, when someone stands like this, or their body language is open, oh, they interjected a joke here, they paused, oh, they interrupted here, oh, they gave a hug. I feel like witnessing that interaction will serve you well, because you can go home and analyze it and be like, why did this thing work? You can slowly start applying that into your life. Once you start observing, you have to start experimenting and becoming a part of this world. And if that means butchering interactions because you're learning in the process, is probably crucial. And you need to have wit. And obviously, there's so many things about dating that you can truly never master. It's something that you can get good at, but you'll never truly know everything because each individual is different. But there are fundamental cores about dating that's truly universal, right? Well, let's talk about this. Attraction. Physical attraction is very important. I feel like the way you look, the way people perceive you is what opens the door. You have to be attracted to someone, actually build an interaction and get something started. And I feel like, yeah, attraction can take different forms and attraction can grow. I feel like, but looks are your gateway, your foot in the door. And then your personality continually widens that door and you build this blossoming, beautiful relationship. It's the thing that carries it over. It's your personality, it's your wit, it's your charisma, right? And that's something that you learn through time and confidence of yourself. But yeah, looks are really important. And I feel like if you're better looking, you probably don't need to learn how to flirt as well. You don't have to put in as much work because your looks kind of will do the work for you. So if you aren't necessarily the best good-looking guy, you're gonna have to do a lot more work, like working out, working on your hygiene, getting more status, getting more income. And the thing is, it's like, do you need to do these things for a woman? Probably not. But does it hurt? No, it'll give you the better chance of fighting, because if you are better looking, you have to put in a hell of a lot less work than, we do, as well as acknowledging that there's a lot of stereotypes in this world and discrimination against us, but not everyone's like that. But it's something you have to really acknowledge. I feel like dating is actually really difficult, and I'm not going to act like I'm a master of this. I don't have this all figured out. I'm only 25. I just learned by doing everything possible that you should not do. And I would say the number one thing is have faith in yourself and believe that you are capable of being loved. I think the idea that you're capable of being loved will actually serve you well. But the fact that you aren't good at it, and it's really complex and difficult, because we can go this whole pickup world and all that fun stuff, but it's something that if you aren't taught from a young age, you have to do a lot of catch up. But I feel like a lot of us don't have social skills. I feel like it's something that you think everyone knows how to have a conversation, but most of us don't. So focus on your day-to-day interactions and realize that maybe by practicing slowly it'll blossom into something great. So if you guys want to talk about this further, please check out my website, bedroom-talks.com, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Namaste.